And welcome back from that rather long break. This is the second installment of the Dish Data podcast here at the Inclusive Africa Conference 2023. And joining me for this second episode of the day is none other than Jairus Ongeta. To me, he's not new. I think we've known each other since 2018, right?
Yeah, been a while, been a long.
It's been a while, and it's been a pleasure to meet
Sure.
him again here at the Inclusive Africa Conference. We're going to be talking about what he makes of this particular conference, but also extensively kidogo too. We're going to be talking about his work with Safaricom and also what he thinks about what are the next opportunities for persons with disabilities in probably the creative space, but as well the media space. Without further ado, kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
My name is Jairus.
Yeah.
I wear a lot of hats, but today I come here as a representative of Safaricom under the Diversity and Inclusion Department.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm here and for this conference to just learn and experience and just share stuff on disability and technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go into Safaricom and diversity, because we cannot take it away from Safaricom.
Yes.
Safaricom is one of the biggest inclusive employers in the country that we have, and also they do a lot of work around disability inclusion.
Yeah.
What do you make of the Africa Inclusive Conference thus far?
So far, so today is my the first day I
Yeah.
came. It started yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but for today, the sessions I've had so far have been very enlightening.
Yeah.
And I see much more light at the end of the tunnel because, things disability have, the advocacy has been there,
Yeah.
but the growth has been gradual.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to say that I'm seeing much coming up. We had like a session for Google, and they had this session where they were telling us about the improvements in softwares.
Yeah.
And a lot has been done. So that people with disability can now easily engage with technology and even the devices they're coming up with,
Yeah.
which is a very great thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are there any other sessions that you've been able to listen into, and what do you pick from the event itself, and also
Yeah.
talking to the people, because it's also a very big networking opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
When you talk to the people,
Yeah.
there are a number of African representatives in the room.
Yeah, there are.
What do you pick out of the engagements?
For me, what I pick out is like most of the African representatives who have come,
Yeah.
is that like we share the same issues. So it's a good thing because we've come together, and it's easy when we come up with a way forward.
Yeah.
It can be easy to just flow to every person in the continent. And another thing is that the conversations have been about the last session I was part of was
Yeah.
about data.
Yeah.
And we saw the importance of having conclusive data about disability.
Yeah.
And there was a mention about those with albinism not being included so much in that.
Yeah.
And it was an issue, but it was raised. So I hope that is going to be looked into as well.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing that that has been looked at as well. Yeah.
It's very interesting that two guys with albinism are seated on the same podcast, and the only reason that you are raising is that persons with albinism have been noticed that they are missing out in the data space. Anything else that because
Yeah.
I visited the innovation room,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I hope you've been able to visit it as well. And I have realized there is a lot of different innovations that are looking to tackle different challenges or limitations or inaccessibilities that are faced by persons with disabilities.
Yeah.
But I realize there are more innovations that are targeted towards the deaf community. What do you make of that? And also to just drum up in what you said about albinism.
Yeah.
Why do you think that persons with albinism might be lacking in that space that you've mentioned?
Okay. For the people with albinism, I think it's usually a tricky conversation because there is this debate of some not viewing albinism as disability and others thinking it's disability.
Yeah.
So there has been that back and forth, and then but when you look into it, there is the vision issue, like beyond even the skin. The visual, the low vision part of it just is disability in itself. But so I can say it's because it's just been that debate, because there are those people who just don't believe albinism is disability. But
Yeah.
now I think once things like they are considering like those with low vision, I think people with albinism are partly included in that.
Yeah.
And for the innovation part, you was talking about those with the deaf having more innovations.
Yeah,
right?
more innovations are at
Yeah.
the Innovation Center,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering,
Yeah.
why is this? Why aren't there as many robust
Yeah. Yeah.
applications or innovations that are geared towards other disabilities? And I'm not taking
For
it
me-
away.
yeah.
I'm not taking it away from the conference that it has been able to curate
Yeah, yeah.
innovations from as many innovators and that are covering diverse disabilities.
Yeah.
But it's just something that I've realized.
I think from my point of view,
Yeah.
that will depend on the type of disability and what they require. So you see, like for things to do with tech, for
Yeah.
example, for the people with the deaf, it's easier to work around them, because if it's for example, for the people with the deaf and those who are blind.
Yeah.
So for those who are blind, mostly for tech, they'll need something that has voice or sound in it.
Yeah.
And those with the deaf, mostly visual stuff. So I think that's why there could be more innovation in terms of tech.
Yeah.
Because anything to do with visuals is something that can easily be worked around tech.
Because
Yeah,
there
compared-
is sort of a
Exactly.
pathway and
Yeah,
roadmap
yeah.
in building such systems.
Yeah, true.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting there.
Yeah.
Now, graduating into Safaricom and,
Yeah.
and what they are doing. Tell us a little bit about Safaricom. Somebody might be watching us right now
Yeah.
and they're like, who are these guys, Safaricom? Who are Safaricom?
Safaricom is the biggest tech company in East and Central Africa. Anyway,
You deserve a pay raise right there.
exactly. So I think anyone who will be watching this should know Safaricom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the past years, Safaricom has been at the forefront,
Yeah.
if not the one at the top in terms of inclusivity and diversity in its workplace.
Yeah.
Like employees are really welcome.
Yeah.
I think we have the biggest percentage of people with disability in the workforce. So yeah, so for the time the companies and corporates decided to include people with disability,
Yeah.
Safaricom was the first one. So they decided to, for the first time, it was like a bet. They took a bet on that.
Yeah.
And it went well. So I can say it is giving people with disability a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
And then those who are in the workforce are also given priority in terms of whatever they require in terms of devices and the opportunity to just work.
Yeah.
So if for those who are maybe visually impaired, for example, for me, I work there.
Yeah.
And I strain using my laptop because of like the small screen.
Yeah.
So I usually have this big monitor where I use to see better.
Yeah.
And those are just opportunities that the company is supporting its employees as well to work better. Yeah.
Interesting there.
Yeah.
And you've said Safaricom sort of took a bet.
Yeah.
What made it possible for this bet to be positive? Because bets can be either negative
Yeah.
or they can be positive. What do you think that Safaricom got right that other companies
Yeah.
can emulate or they can copy and paste so that they can also be probably one day champions of disability inclusion in champions in their organizations?
Yeah, so the better idea comes in where the companies were very they were not ready to have people with disability.
Yeah.
They were reluctant to have people with disability working in the company.
Yeah.
Because they viewed them as, there was a session today, someone mentioned it.
Yeah.
That people with disability in the company were viewed as like a liability. So taking a bet is whereby you have to put in your resources.
Yeah.
Because people with disability come in with more requirements, because
Yeah.
they'll need more devices. They'll need the spaces need to
Modified.
just suit them. Yeah, to be
Yeah.
modified to suit their needs. You
Yeah.
know. So that's the betting part.
Yeah.
So the companies need to put in more effort in that. But then you see, we live in a society,
Yeah.
an inclusive society where each person has their abilities
Yeah.
and does require the opportunity to showcase their potential, to put in their knowledge and skills to work, right? So the only way to have a good society is whereby everyone feels included,
Yeah.
and they are working and they're being included in the workplace, in schools, in institutions, right?
Yeah.
So having people with disability in the company is just part of something that we should do as a society.
Yeah.
So Safaricom coming in to do that is just something that I think every company should emulate as well. Yeah.
And absolutely, and what I am hearing you say is Safaricom said, okay, enough with being scared.
Yeah.
We have to do this at any given time. It's better if we start now.
Yeah, exactly. So we started with a very small percentage, and for each year we usually have a target of, like, having a certain number of people with disability being included. For internships, for example, we usually have internships that include those with disabilities.
Yeah.
At least quarterly, and then, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And then from there now, depending on the skills those have, there are those who are now included now in company as permanent employees as well. Yeah.
One of the arguments that even other organizations that have said that it is very hard to find qualified persons with disabilities to take up roles in such organizations.
Yeah,
Have you interacted with such an argument? And if yes, is this true? Is this false? And then what next?
Yeah, I think partly it's true.
Yeah.
But there are those who are qualified. The truth is there are those who are qualified, but sometimes to get these talents is a bit of a hassle.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is that's why there have been these channels to have, in terms of like even education levels. You find, for example, Safaricom. It could take, for example, this is an example. I'm not sure of the because I'm not part of the recruitment team. Yeah, but I know the grade in terms of like school.
Yeah.
If they take someone with the same, like an A minus.
Yeah.
Then a person with disability can come with a B or a C plus, and then can be taken in still. So I think that also assists, because even before, because these things come like from way back.
Yeah.
You find like those with disabilities, most of them like maybe did not get opportunities to have a good formal education. So some of them, that's why like the education levels might not be matching up to everyone else.
Yeah.
So I think when we start from there, at least improve from the livelihoods of those that are already there.
Yeah.
And then like we start from schools, and then just include the inclusivity from way back in schools, and then they can be able to study and also like grow in terms of education levels, like every regular person.
Interesting there. And I want to transit now into role modeling, because when you talk about going to the schools, then we need to show students or learners with disabilities who are in schools that these are people who are like you and they are doing it. From an organizational point of view, Safaricom, and from a personal point of view, what are some of the things that we can do to make sure that we get to hone and sharpen and also make ready those with disabilities that want to come into these spaces, but they do not know where to start from, and also they do not have the confidence to show up, because not many persons with disabilities have the confidence to show up.
Sure, that's true. I think we need to do more. Like the government needs to come in and do more advocacy in terms of disability issues, so that those who are growing up, the pupils and students growing up, don't stay mostly in the space of the special schools. It's a good thing, because as growing up, most of the time you find like those with disabilities have these special schools where they stay in, and then now you see at that point you realize like a bigger percentage of the people you stay with are those with disabilities or like your own level, and then when you come to the real world, things are different. You now meet everyone else. So I think we need to have a form of inclusivity whereby you can go to any school, and that school is able to accommodate a person with disability with their needs. So it doesn't have to be like a special school somewhere. So you see that those kids now grow up knowing the only the people with their The disability
fellows-
type,
yeah,
exactly. So when they come up to the world, and then you find you're the only person with disability in an office, it feels different, right?
And
Yeah.
Very funny there what you say, because I was talking to one of my mentors and he asked me, Alan, for sure,
Yeah.
you've gone to primary school with
Yeah.
a person with albinism.
Yeah.
You've gone to high school with a person with albinism.
Exactly.
You've gone to college or university with a person with albinism.
Yeah.
The only thing you're going to think about is albinism.
Exactly.
There is nothing else that you're going to think about.
Yeah, so when you come to like the world, you find
Yeah.
some people they don't know about albinism,
And
so
they
now you start have to
literally don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah, they literally don't
Yeah,
care.
the world is harsh, so you have to you have to fit in, man.
You
Yeah.
have to adapt.
Yeah.
And on the point of fitting in, because either way,
Yeah.
you've made it out,
Yeah.
I've made it out. What would you say, or what would you advise those
Yeah.
who feel that they still do not find a way to fit in and they are not struggling to make it out?
Yeah.
What do you tell them?
I think now that now goes back to on a personal level now.
Yeah.
I think we need to work on ourselves in terms of the confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you have an ability, just believe in that ability. Go out there and prove yourself
Yeah.
right. Prove yourself wrong if you
Yeah.
didn't believe in yourself. And then the others will definitely see that. Because I think sometimes we are the only ones who limit ourselves sometimes. Because
Yeah.
even if someone doesn't believe in you, but you believe in yourself,
Yeah.
the limits are not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting there.
Yeah.
Going back to Safaricom, what opportunities are available for persons with disabilities, even as you represent the organization in the capacity of diversity and inclusion today?
So for now, I can say opportunities are there.
Yeah.
We have a career portal. So on that career portal, you can usually put your details and everything.
Yeah.
And there's usually a place where you specify that.
Yeah.
So since our company is inclusive, and we usually have, as much as when we are like when there's like an employment lot
Opportunity, yeah.
they usually have a percentage where they have to include a person with disability. So depending on like the qualifications of that person
Yeah.
and their interests, there'll always be an opportunity. So, but for now, mostly technology related opportunities.
Yeah.
If you're good with that, I think data. You see, those are the things that are now very very sellable in these
in the tech space,
exactly.
I would say.
Yeah. At the moment, yeah.
Interesting there. And we've talking about your day job so much.
Yeah.
Besides your day job and paying bills.
Yeah.
What,
Do you want me to be sacked? Yeah, but yeah, sure.
definitely
Yeah.
not my intention.
Yeah.
But away from your day job, I know you to be a creative.
Yeah, yes,
but people who are watching us probably not.
Yeah.
Could you be glad enough to tell them a bit more about yourself away from the
Sure.
professional work?
As I started saying, I'm a multifaceted human being.
Yeah.
So beyond work, I also do a lot in the art space.
Yeah.
So a bit of film. I do mostly spoken word poetry.
Yeah.
I do have a show that I run every Sunday.
Yeah.
At Y254.
Yeah.
It's a spoken word show. So like the way people play music.
Yeah.
So I do like play spoken word poetry and just share the poetry, because like the poetry scene needs to grow.
Yeah.
So at least that in that platform we assist to share their work to the world. Beyond that, I do sports. I'm an athlete as well, so
Yeah.
I do sprinting and many other stuff.
Yeah.
So around that, but mostly I can say spoken word poetry, athletics, and just art in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just art in general.
Yeah.
How do you discover yourself? Because these are so many hats that somebody who is watching right now will be like,
Yeah.
can't he just pass me one? Yeah.
I know, right?
How do you discover yourself?
I think we are built differently. I've heard of people who advice of just pick one thing
Yeah.
which you are good at
Yeah.
and just go hard on it, which is a good thing. You find people who do that, they excel.
Yeah.
But now we are built differently. So for me, I'm I'm the kind of person who
Before you finish that statement, I need to snitch on somebody.
Yeah.
So when we are having these conversations, somebody
Yeah.
was like, the problem with Jay,
Yeah.
he never focuses on
I
a
know,
single thing. If only
I
he
know.
focused on a single
I know
thing.
myself. I know. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. So I'm built differently. So for me, I thrive at doing different things,
touching this, touching
yes,
that, touching
that,
this.
yeah. But of course it reaches a point where you can't do everything. You're just one person, so I have to distill and select like a few those that I can manage within my time.
Yeah.
We all have 24 hours, so so for now at least I've dropped a few, so
Yeah.
I balance. So growing up, I think I've always been a person who has interest in just learning stuff, so I think I've tried a lot of things. I've been in the art space I've done from film
Yeah.
to TV shows to
Yeah.
hosting TV. I've done radio kidogo.
Yeah.
I've done poetry. I've
Yeah.
done music.
Mm.
I used to dance in high school. I've done mime. I think I've just tried things, but
Yeah.
I think it's good to know yourself. So for me, I think at least I know I'm not a person of doing just one thing.
Yeah.
I accept that. My fulfillment comes where I learn new stuff.
Yeah.
So, but of course, I know the limits of a human being. I just need to select like this is what you can focus on. This is what I'm able to handle at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say that the philosopher who said that it's better to be it's better to be
A master.
to know
Yeah.
a little about everything
Everything
than to know just nothing, or literally.
Yeah, true. Just one thing about true,
and I think
true.
you embody that perfectly.
Yeah.
Even as we come to the end of the conversation,
Sure. Yeah.
what do you foresee the future to look like for disability in two ways, in Kenya as a country, but also in Safaricom as an organization?
For me, I foresee a lot of growth.
Yeah.
And for people with disability now getting into a space where they have all the opportunity they need, and it's up to them now to prove themselves and just show what they are able to do. I think that's what we are looking forward to. Yeah.
General advice to somebody who might be watching us right now and they're like, Jay should not go off of that camera before he sort of motivates me, quote unquote. What would you tell them?
Wow. For me, my motivation would be like, wow.
On the spot.
Oh, wow. Okay. They say time flies, but just remember you are the pilot. So whatever time you have right now, use it to do the best and be the best version of yourself, because we all never know tomorrow. So I think for me, that's my advice. My advice is just whatever you're good at, go hard on it and just make yourself proud. You know, there's that fulfillment that comes with you doing whatever you love. And like there's the only thing you only understand of the effort you've put. Sometimes it might not be visible from the outside, but as long as you've put that, that's what is very important, because we are put here for a purpose, and once you fulfill that purpose and you know you have done it, then it's
a beauty.
Yeah.
I've picked three things. Time flies. Or life flies.
But the good thing is, okay, that's the bad news. The bad news is time flies.
Time flies.
But the good thing is,
you are the pilot. So you can decide the direction that you fly into. And that is the nugget from Jairus Ongeta there. And if you'd like to learn more about what Safaricom is doing, you could head onto their website. You could search onto Google, onto the internet, and search for Safaricom and get to learn about the tremendous work that they do. And you'll be able to be a part of what they're doing. And also Jairus has mentioned that they do have a portal where you can import your CVs, and whenever there are employment opportunities that you might be considered. And also do not forget, there are specifications in there. If you're a person with a disability, please do not be afraid to mention that you are a person with disability, because you might not know how the other person from the other end is going to treat you when you are called for an interview. Take the risk and fly away, because you are your own pilot. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be coming back with another guest. Of course, we are still live at the Inclusive Africa Conference, the Africa Inclusive Conference 2023. Don't you go away.
Awesome.